Hi everyone, I'm Corbin Rose and today I'm going to show you how I water my Phalaenopsis orchids. So these are the orchids that I bought at the beginning of the lockdown, but I also did a video of it, which I'll put in the screen for you above. So when your roots are a silver color like this, you know that your orchid is in need of some hydration. So I always water my orchids at the sink because it kind of stimulates their natural wet-dry cycle, where you just place your orchid underneath the tap and you let the water just run straight through, and that means that your orchid is not standing in any water. In nature, orchids grow on trees as epiphytes, so their roots are used to having a lot of air movement around them. So if you confine your orchid to a pot with a drip tray and you have that pot standing in water, it means that your orchid roots are going to start to decay. So this plant is in a clay pot with a hole at the bottom, so I'm not going to take it out of the clay pot. I'll just run the water through the pot. So all that you do is just for a few seconds, you just let the water run through your plant. Because orchid roots are covered in a kind of sponge-like substance, and that just traps as much moisture in there as possible. So if I show you what the roots look like now, you'll see that they become like a nice deep green like color, and that's the actual roots starting to soak up moisture. And by doing it in this way, you simulate the natural process that orchids would go through, where they'll be growing on a tree, and a monsoon will come, brush them down completely, and then they'll dry again extremely quickly. And that's really something that a lot of orchids need, is a quick wet and dry cycle. And that's also why you don't want your plant to be standing in any moisture. So these two, I'm going to take them out of their cover pots because they don't have any drainage holes in the bottom. I'll give you guys a bit of a close-up of how I do that. So you simply take it out of the pot, and then you just open the tap and let the water run through. This is also an excellent time for you to inspect your plants to see if they don't have any pests or disease. There we go. It's also a great time to remove any spent flowers. So I'm just going to put it on the sink because you don't want to place it back in the pot, because the water can still be coming out of the media and then end up in the bottom of your pot. And I'll probably just put these here for like 10 minutes. I mean, that should be enough before you place them back in their proper locations where you want to display them. The other thing I wanted to also mention is that I absolutely never use ice to water my orchids. I know it was like a trend at a time to put a cube of ice into your pot once a week. It started as a marketing ploy by the growers to kind of make Phalaenopsis orchids seem easier to care for. But for the similar reason, as I mentioned to you before, ice is not a good idea in your pot, because what's going to happen is, you can imagine if you have your orchid in a pot like this and you place a cube of ice in there every week, it's going to melt and end up in the bottom of the pot. It isn't let your orchid stand in that cold water. And the other reason also is that orchids are tropical plants. So having ice cold water around the roots of your orchids, I mean, just seems like a dumb idea. It seems like something that would never ever happen in nature. So for the other one, I'm also going to take it out of its pot and just take off some of these spent flowers. These just come off very easily. put that to one side. And also keep my orchid under the tap. There you go. So you don't want to get any water in the crown of your plant because that will lead to decay and your plant will ultimately die. But if you get any water in there, and I'll show you what I do, you just simply take a piece of kitchen towel, fold it up into a smaller square with a point. So you take the point of your paper towel and you dab it in the center, and that just soaks up any excess moisture from the crown of your plant and make sure that your plant will stay healthy. And you can also use a cloth towel to do that. So I hope that you found these tips helpful, because I know that quite a few people struggle with watering their Phalaenopsis orchids. If you like this video, please remember to give it a thumbs up, and also please subscribe to see more videos like these.